right, guys, I'm doing the double recording thing again so that I can kind of try to keep it with my YouTube. And I've got like at least 3 memory cards worth of stuff. I'm trying to get up there because I know some people do follow me on there. It's just hard for me to keep up with all of it. So anyway, this is going to be an open letter to this Adam Spievey. I don't even know this guy. I don't even know this guy. It just comes to my attention. This guy's talking about me. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go live on Facebook, you guys. So if you're on Facebook, I will see you guys there. All right, guys, I'm going live early, honestly, because I've been sitting around here since yesterday saying, you know, it was brought to my attention that this guy in the UK, Adam Spievey, is using my name in some public post. So I'm going to tell you what that is, Adam. It's laws of attraction. You using my name in a public post as a forum to apparently somebody suggested that someone that wanted to know about the caller watch my videos instead of yours. And this caused you to go into such a rage that you now post my name publicly and start putting all kinds of mocking posts about me. So, I mean, honestly, it is laws of attraction. I don't even know who you are, you know, and you claim to be an e-collar expert. Adam, based on what? Based on what? Did you take a course? Because I'm going to give you, this is what it's going to be. We're going to go over your video here, and I'm going to point out, and I will say, I have seen improvements since I told you to stop rubbing them on the head. So to let you guys at home know, it comes to my attention before that this guy was saying the pager doesn't have any validity, has no technical merit, which he wasn't talking like that because they don't talk like that, but, you know, that it didn't have any validity and it's nothing that can be, you know, and what I want you guys to understand, technical training is something that can be recreated in every dog, theoretically. I mean, to some degree. That's technical training. You know, that's why, you know, if you said, well, what's technical communication? Be able to communicate with any person, theoretically. You know, that it's going to be clear. Hey, girl. Anyway, I'm just going to go over this video, and I'm not making this mean. But what you need to do, and what everybody needs to do, is watch your video without any sound. And just look at the dog. Just look at the dog. So if you're a guy, I'm just going to tell you right now, and you want a dog to make eye contact, don't wear a big brim hat. So it's wrong in the beginning. The second thing, if you're teaching a dog to go away, I'll tell you what you don't do is use constant to pull it over to the place and then pull it back to you and give it a treat. If you were teaching it to go away, you would give it the treat when it went away. If you were teaching it not to be a Velcro dog, you would give it the treat for going away. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, though, the first thing that happens in this video, and this is the one on the understanding thing, if you put a dog in its place and it's facing the other way, you didn't create the initial subtask of the dog being on the platform looking at you. So you've got to go back. If you put a dog in its place and it has its back to you, you got to go back. You stop right there and you get your treats and you move around until the dog is like, you don't have them sitting with their back to you or not looking at you. So I'm just watching it without sound. Now it turns its head away. Now he's doing some weird backing up. The dog still stays at arm's length away, but I will give you props. You're not rubbing its head. But that's what you guys have to understand. Now, let me see how far. Now we're a minute into the video. Instead of going on the place, the dog is already trying to get off the place. So I'll tell you what that tells you. There's no reason for it to go there. It's not getting any food when it goes there. And going there, the precursor to going there is the constant. The precursor to going there is a constant. Now it's balking. It's trying every way to get off of there. It's kind of looking to the mother for help. So the dog isn't in food drive. You haven't had. It's not going to make eye contact. It has its back to you. It is looking now, but what happens with dogs that you use constant on, they've got a very specific look. And it's, let me fortify for the correction. So that's what you guys have to understand. I don't understand, you know, Adam, how you're that offended that somebody said, go to my, that you, and then say, oh, well, Mike posted 100 of her videos, you know, that I even have 100. Do you even have 100 videos? And you're going to tell me that after all these, this is decades of work, Adam. This is decades of work. You're trying to say you're more knowledgeable about the color based on what? What books have you read? What methodology are you using? Who's your mentor? What course did you, even if someone said I took a 2-week course, I wouldn't say, you know, what hard written material do you have? I at least have an ebook. I don't even sell it anymore. I give it to people because it's outdated, but I understand that if you're just entering it at an entry level, that it makes it easier to understand. It makes the training easier to understand. But that you look at my training and decide, this dog now has its tail tucked, and you're forcing it on there. Oh my God. Now you're walking around very strange. It's trying to get off there. Please tell me you're not pulling it back on there with constant. Oh, yeah. You know, that you would say to somebody, now you are petting it. Now you're going to throw your arms up and do a big all through. You cannot, and I want you guys at home to understand that. And I saw a very, very good quote today, and it said, if you're convinced, oh God, please let me remember it. If you're convinced against your will, you really haven't changed your opinion. If you're convinced to do something against your will, you really haven't changed your opinion. And that's the epitome of dogs. That's why I say we can't lure them. Because again, luring, it, you know, in a way, we want to think of luring as a bad word. If I called you guys and said some guy tried to lure one of the dogs away, a stranger, you would say, oh my God, terrible. A guy lured a child into a car, terrible. So, you know, in a way, we don't want to think of luring. Luring does have it can have a negative connotation, whereas free will doesn't have a negative connotation. That's all anybody wants in the world. And, you know, for us to believe dogs don't want that, I think is wrong. Look at Crash. Look at Crash. I mean, that dog has taught me. The way I was playing with that other dog yesterday, if you guys haven't seen that, the other dog, Sorsha, she's such a kind soul. She was trying to compensate. She understood that that Crash needed the precursor of getting bumped into to play. And Crash is crazy. I'm going to throw that shoe back down in there. Anyway, but what I want you guys to understand is, you know, if this Adam would have come to me and said, you know, I find one little thing interesting that you do, but instead to go on the misinformation highway and conclude that the pager freaks him out and the painful alternative of constant is the way to go, and to not only do that, but then publicly dismiss me as someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Based on what? Are you a Jeff Gelman person? The guy can't even do a trained retrieve. The guy can't even do a trained retrieve. Any competitive dog sport require a trained retrieve. People, amateurs that do CDX can do a trained retrieve. Probably better than me. Probably better than me. You know? So I don't understand how not one, you can watch all these videos of mine and not one thing is found interesting, and that you decide the painful alternative. And based on this video, I can take it. I've got all kinds of introduction to platform videos. You're in these people's garden. Take the leash off. The reason you don't take the leash off is it's not going to stay with you. I don't have a leash on out here. These dogs could get away from me. You know, I'd be willing to help you, Adam, but, you know, to be mocking and mean, to publicly post my name under the context of, you know, a frivolous person who doesn't know anything. I've been training dogs longer than you've been alive, and you don't, you know, you make it a point to go online and say, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, and apparently diss all my videos. And, you know, if you want me to prove to you, I'll go out there live and do umpteen platform videos. And these dogs will be racing me up there. That's what you're doing wrong. You can't add constant. Constant's becoming the precursor. Constant's the precursor. You're not using the constant to drive the dog over there. If you were, you'd give it some reward when it got there. There would be some reward for getting there other than just turning off the constant. Because what has happened is the constant has become the precursor. When that dog sees the platform, I'll tell you what it sees: constant coming at it. So, you've got to race them over there. You've got to have the food. And the dog isn't in food drive. There's a difference between dog and pit bulls are the easiest ones to shut down. And that dog shut down. By the end, it's got its tail tucked and you're forcing it up there. They're the easiest breed. Any of those bully breeds are easy to shut down just because they're not selectively bred for tractability. If you said my pit bull has 3 generations, 12 dogs on this dog's pedigree are obedience titled, I'd say that no, they're not. That's not possible. It's not possible. And if you said that about a German Shepherd, oh, absolutely, there's dozens of them. Every Schutzen dog that ever came. Every dog, every import dog that ever came to this country, every single relative it had was, had some obedience degree. At least a Schutzen one, So there is a difference. I mean, genetics is going to, that's why it's easier. That's why, and nothing against anybody that has Malinois because, I've got some serious pros friends that have Malinois. My friend Samuel and Michael and a lot of people, but you know, they have a ton of momentum. That's why people like them for training because people that train dogs, serious pros understand you got to have something to work with. You've got to have something to channel. The smartest human beings have learned to channel forces of nature. That's how we got dogs to do all these things. That's how they get dogs to find bombs. Dogs don't know anything about bombs. But you can convince these dogs that this is been in your DNA since August Belmont owned Super Chief and before to find a man's game. And that's a man's game. And by game, I mean like the bird, not, play a game, but, to find a man's game and do it with all your heart. And if you said you can't selectively breed dogs, no, absolutely. Don't make me call Mark. I'll get Mark on my landline. Anyway, you guys, so yeah, it's just, very distressing to me that this Adam, who is go to the house trainer, and if you said, what, possible knowledge could you have to offer dogs that have been collar conditioned for years and years, Bumpers and Nachos, just as an offhand example, have been continually collar conditioned since they were puppies. Those are my personal dogs. Don't think I'm spending all my time training them. I literally train them 4 to 5 minutes in the morning, almost every morning, as much as I can. But that's where I got to them. I'm not spending, those aren't, and the client dogs, people that are willing to leave client dogs with me for months and months and months, you can't pay me to come to your house. People can't pay me. If they say, do you come to the house? I laugh and laugh. If you're going to be a serious pro and you're going to do serious work and you're going to do serious work with dogs, you guys know this. You've got to get these people out of the picture. And you've got to figure out ways to run damage control on what they've already done and create new, different, better things that they can get this dog to do. Not correct it for not healing, not correct it for pulling, not correct it for pulling. I'm seeing, honestly, like with Crash, I mean, it seems like if you, hi Dave, hi Brittany, hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I need to learn to speak 5 languages. Did any of you listen to me? Anyway, that's my advice to you guys. If you said, your training seems, I can see your healing has a little Schutzen-y look. It looks like you're kind of trying to copy Schutzen healing, and your retrieving sort of has a gun dog sort of feel. Yeah, that's where I started out was gun dogs. I got a job training gun dogs when I was in college. The guy handed me Dr. Tortora's book and a Tritronics A180 and said, this is how we train the dogs. I don't ever even remember thinking anything other than to do what he said. And remembering that he said, there's some dogs that can never be trained. I still remember that. So, Adam, you probably weren't even born in 1981, and that you can look at my work and claim to be an aficionado of these collars. And this group that claims to be e-collar advocates, knowing, and if these people say to you, there's no such thing as hitting it too high, bullshit. Bullshit. It's a built-in caveat. It is a built-in caveat. You know, that if you said nothing, you have no science behind. I've done more work with an e-collar online than anybody in the world. Why? I don't even know. And honestly, since I paid my house off, you guys can see what happened. I wear my pajamas all day long. I am in a different, and I've done my best work in the last year since I got that damn mortgage company off my back. And I don't have to train as many toads. I haven't even answered my phone in a month, or I don't even reply to my email. Apparently, all these people are emailing me. But here I am on Facebook ranting like a lunatic. So, I think I've done my best work the last year. I've learned from my mistakes, and that this Adam is so willing. And I go to your house trainer that's presenting this and mocking me, that can't find one single thing. If you can't find one single thing in my work, that's sad. That is sad. I'm willing to say, I go on YouTube saying I've got the technique for the fastest recalls. I don't get challenged, and I don't see any faster, and that's my forte. And if you can take one thing from that and improve your work, why wouldn't you want to do that, as opposed to mock this person publicly on your page? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I could go on these chat boards. I'll tell you how long I'd last, about one day. And then people I didn't even know, I would hate their guts. So that's why I don't go on there, because and if you don't think people like me have paved the way for you, Adam, you're wrong. You name the UK's #1 e-collar trainer. You tell me what their name is. You tell me their name. And if it's you, then who's your mentor? And what books have you read? Answer me, Adam. I haven't blocked you. I mean, I blocked your messages, but you could let me know somehow. What books have you read? You've read my ebook and you're dismissing it as nothing valid. And Jim and Phyllis Dobbs, I am a product of that work that they did. If you said you're standing on their shoulders, absolutely. I'm not standing on their shoulders. Those people lifted me up. Those people lifted me up. I'm not standing on their shoulders. And for somebody like you who's been using an e-collar for maybe 4 years to go online as an expert and try to beat me down is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I don't understand, why, and Mike understands, I don't understand loyalty because I've had fierce loyalty. That's what I can't understand. So I don't understand what loyalty is. And that guy, Christopher, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, Christopher, and you don't understand my backstory, and for you to defend that work, we couldn't be friends. We couldn't be friends because I feel like there's a line. There's a line. And on one side of the line is stimulus, and on the other side of the line is the pager. The stimulus work has hit a glass ceiling, you guys. It's hit a glass ceiling. If these guys that you're looking at are the epitome of what, kind of work we can do with companion dogs, it's painful. Every trainer out there needs to be doing trained retrieves. There are crippled people everywhere. Any work that you can do to help that could make, and that you're going to dismiss my e-collar trained retrieve because everybody does those? No, they don't. No, they don't. It's ridiculous. Honestly, I'm like, who is this guy? I said, show me this guy's most trained dog. And it was that Super Sammy. And I was like, what? And you're going to dismiss my work. I shouldn't even give you this much time. But it's just ridiculous. That's what you guys have to think of. Here's a line. The people that are doing the stimulus work have hit this ceiling. They've hit the line. You can't go any further. Here's the page. This stuff is going off the charts. If you said, I'm going to check back a year from now, and you will not have developed one single thing, different. I say, look back at the work I did a year ago and say, my God, how did people pay you for this crap? Honestly, I do. Like, did they pay you for this crap? So, that's, it's hard for me to understand, and that people would want to. You've got to have intuition if you're going to be a dog trainer, and anybody would have to have some intuition. All I can say is, look, you know, what if they use the word okay? And you did use the word okay, Adam. I tell people, the second you hear that, there's somebody tell me how many words there are in the world. You're going to use one that comes up all the time. Okay. Okay. Because I understand now that they're that from Crash till I got Crash. I didn't know any of this stuff. Open for suggestion. But if you're just randomly walking around saying, okay, who knows what you're accidentally defaulting to? Who knows what they're going to be accidentally defaulting to? You know, honestly, people say things like, this is what they do. If you use okay for a release command, I'm going to tell you how people at home use it. It's okay. It's okay. As soon as it starts barking at the mailman it's okay, it's okay. That's what they say. So we can't use that word. I'm not the only one that says that. Godfrey says it in his book. Any serious pros say that. Unless maybe you lived in Serbia or something and people didn't use that. Anyway, you guys, hi, Janice. I had to take John Henry to the vet. I might have to take him back. He's so old. He's an old man. I was up all night with him. He had to go out in the middle of the night. So I don't know. I think I need to go in there and pull some blood work. That thing on his back, to me, it doesn't seem like it's healing fast enough. So anyway, you guys, that's the deal. I'm not some psychopath, but I mean, if you follow these things that I say, Adam, one, get the dog in drive. What I want you guys to think of, and if you said, well, what's drive? It going forward. If I said put a car in drive, everybody knows what that means. So that's what I want you guys to think of. If you're putting a dog in drive, it's right there saying, where are we going? This dog is saying, I'm going this way. It's not in drive. They'll eat food. That's what I want you guys to understand. They'll eat food when they're not in drive. But there's a difference. So if you said, well, if it just eats food, then where do I go from there? Well, you help it understand bigger's better. If you eat food, devouring food's even better. Let's devour it because then we can do it faster and do funner faster. Funner faster. This is the kind of training the world needs, you guys, and if you said the training that you do is not as fun or exciting or any of this stuff, I'd say bullshit, because it is. It's way funner. And if you said, and I'm willing to go out on a limb here, Adam, if I did want to use constant, I could use it better than you because I used it prior to 1997. People paid me. I started this business in 1991 and I used e-collars. That was when Tritronics came out with, and it was a good thing for me. It was a good thing for me because Tritronics came out with a collar called the Companion. It was $200 and I did a couple videos with it before. I can't find it right. It's here somewhere. I'll do it tomorrow. You guys are like, good, we won't be here, but it was $200. And at that time, that was the early 90s. That was, the economy was good. And people could afford $200. I don't even remember how much I charged for the training, but if I had to guess, if you gave me $300, I would train it until the thing, I would train it and train it and train it and train it. It's for you to dismiss 26 years of hard work. That's what just gets me for all of these people that they can't say, that they're willing to go that far out to say, the pager freaks them out, so don't use it. And that these people listen. I don't know. The pager freaks them out unless they're at this woman's house in Florida, unless the dogs are, and then when people bring them out of state, it doesn't freak those dogs out either. Because I'm finna do an intro video with Michael's collar on little Wilson, which is one of the puppies that went home. The girl Jill, that was the really good intern that watched all the things, and she got him to default to the down by dropping her hand and doing all that stuff. So, if you said it's viable, or that nobody has proved that you can take a pager and get spectacular results with a puppy, this is what I'd say to you, Adam. Yeah, that's what I would say to you. Because it's right there in front of your face. You just refuse to see it because you feel like you know how to use an e-collar. You're just like the dogs. You're not thinking bigger's better. What's a way that I could make it better? And that's the difference between you and I. I'm open for suggestion. I can see one little thing. I'll tell you where this came from. And I hope it spreads because I want Cher to start doing it now too. I'm going to go find that video and show you where that came from. That was a video that Mark sent me because I used to bug Mark to send me videos to upload to my channel. And it was Wayne Curtis's son, who I bet is a pro trainer now. And I was 3 seconds into this video, and I said, this guy's good. This guy's good. And this is what he was doing. And so I clearly understood right there what he's saying to the dog is I'm operating you with the left and the right side of my body, you know. And so that's what I started doing. So, that's how easily influenced I am. I don't send them with the wrong arm, the opposite arm. You see people, when they're sending the dog to retrieve, they're sending it with the wrong arm. The problem with that is then what? What if you want it to go that way? Do you go like that? So anyway, you guys, that's what's going on. Oh, no, I mean, I just think he's an old dog, Janice. I've got him Rimadyl now. I've got him some arthritis meds from the vet, but, I think he'll, of course, he reminds me so much of Carson. I want to keep him forever and ever, but I don't, he was just restless last night. I got up, I was checking his stomach and doing all this stuff. I put him on the bed, and then he got off the bed, and he got on the couch. And anyway, I didn't get any sleep, and, but I was just still just so bothered by this guy making it a point. If the guy just said something about me, but to go make a public post and use my name and mock me, here's a concept, Adam. Mike is a loyal fan and friend. Is that concept that foreign to you? And I'm about to tell him, just give up trying to help these people understand this stuff. It's so obvious. And plenty of people do understand because people do come to me. But this little clique of these little trainers, I call it the misinformation highway. Jeff Gelman, who is his mentor? What is the most advanced work he has? Please. Because I see 25 of my friends like his page. So if you guys notice in a little while I have 25 less friends, then I want you to say to yourself, maybe she is crazy. Because I don't, I just, and these people don't help people for free. They want you to give them a big bunch of money to show you how to hit dogs with constant and outdated method that isn't in a book, but I mean the book is from the 90s. There's no other book. There's not thousands of books written about e-collar training. There isn't. And if you said there's all these DVDs, okay, Robin McFarland's DVD. The first one, she doesn't use food at all. And she says, don't use a pager, it freaks them out. The second one, she does use food, but then they actually try to lure the dog out of the place and stuff. It just, none of the things that you want to do. Her recalls are terrible. So you have to base everything on that. You need to go, and because this is what I do. This is what I do. I go to people's page, and I look for the recall. And if I hear it, boom. If I can hear your recall, then I say, they're good. They're good. And there's plenty of people I think are good. Really good. These guys in Greece are good. I'm telling you, you guys better watch out. They're behind there. They didn't really get. I don't think they're banned, but dog trainers in their 20s and 30s need to say, where are we at on the training scale with this tech? Where's the fastest recalls? Where is the most? Who's pushing the edge of the envelope? Jeff Gelman, please. I can put a pager on a little itty bitty puppy, and then I can show you the same dog 2 years later after continual training. And real flashy, but that's not enough for you. Be an expert by being a go-to-your-house trainer because you're only seeing a fraction of what's going on. You guys have got journeyman trainers need to be working towards the goal. You have clients will leave dogs with you for months and months because that's what dog training is. If you say it's more about training people, that's some people's job. My job is to train the dog to the point pretty much it just defaults to the stuff. You're only going to teach people so much. If your job is to teach people to ride horses, I don't know what the suicide rate is among those people, but I can imagine. It would be terrible. Probably so hard to teach people that don't know how to ride horses because the people get on, they just think you kick the horse. People don't know anything. The state of professional dog training in this country is terrible. the number of people that use okay, that use the word yes, that have obviously learned how to train from watching YouTube videos. And none of mine. None of mine. I don't see any of my work in any of these people. The first second they hit constant or don't have food, I know it's not my work. Anyway, guys, I've got a bunch of I'm going to go out there and go live. I've got like 5 of them I'm doing a train to retrieve on now. See, now I'm overcompensating, to try, but I want people to pick this work up. I don't want people to say 10 years from now, yeah, we finally figured out the pager's better. I've been on YouTube using the pager longer than you've been using an e-collar, Adam, and I'm willing to bet longer than you've been training dogs. You only need to change like 27 things. Why wouldn't you want to get better? Do you think if you got better that I'm going to say, oh, well, he got better because of me? I want people to get better. There is such a thing as that. And that's what I say. Jim and Phyllis, I'm not standing on their shoulders. Those people lifted me up. Looking back, I'm sure they thought I was the biggest goofus. These questions I used to ask. God, I hope I didn't say things like, well, how long do they have to wear the collar? We've all looked at it as science. That's how they looked at it. So that was the approach I took. And I mean, the first book I ever read was Dr. Tortora's book. So, I only thought of it as science. And if you said you're not a self-taught behaviorist, I'd say, oh, please. Oh, please. And that that you don't have to live with dogs for 20-something years to see what I've seen. I only figured this stuff out last Tuesday. So at the rate you're going, Adam, you're going to be like 70 before you figure this stuff out. Why you would want to gain my anonymity is beyond me. It really is. And to put my name on your page, mocking me as somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, and somebody that goes to somebody's house once a week, knows more than me, and your own personal demo dog, and you're doing everything wrong, according to me. If I'm doing everything wrong, then I will say, then you're right, because what you're doing is the exact opposite of everything I'm doing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go out there because I started Brinkley on a train to retrieve, and Pre and Chester and Crash. Yeah. When I'm old and crazy, which is probably going to be like next week, you guys. I don't know, I don't know how much how longer I can hang on. I'll have Crash will be my therapy dog. I'll take her everywhere. The blind leading the blind. Bye, guys. Anyway, that was my hysterical rant. So, I hope you get the drift, Adam.